far my favorite section of Mulholland. Take it a little easy today, but it is friggin' awesome. So again, like I come to this, right, but I rode this many times, so each time I come I might push myself a little further, because I kind of know what to expect. Like I know this is 25 miles an hour, but it's actually not really that crazy, see? So, you know. So I'm working on getting my body off the bike more than leaning the bike, because this bike obviously has fairly low pegs. So what's been happening to me lately on this road is, you know, I've scraped my pegs a couple times. So I'm really working on my body positioning so that I don't have to lean the bike as much, but rather I lean my body, you know, over the bike more. To get that same kind of effect. And it's been working really well. You just got to be careful here because there's fucking gravel everywhere. So you got to kind of stay away from that outside line. And watch for fucking delivery trucks that might cross over the double yellows a little bit. But yeah, this road is like really good. See, I don't have to lean the bike nearly as much because my body is going over and I kind of know, you know, like what to expect here. So it gets better and better every time. Really not trying to push it today because I'm not feeling 100% today. And, you know, I feel like my focus maybe isn't where it, you know, usually is. So I'm taking it easy, but just practicing my body positioning. But yeah, the first time I came on this road, I was like super slow, you know, because I didn't know it. But now the more and more I ride it, I know, like, okay, there's some sections where, you know, it might decrease a little bit. And this is the best for canyon riding, I mean, because you can actually, you know, actually push it on this quite a bit, whereas like on like, you know, super scary, like you know, like what are they called, hairpin turns, they just get kind of you know, they get a little bit they get a little freaky, and you got to go slow. Even some of these still, honestly, on Mulholland, I like, you know, I'm pretty much not even accelerating through them. I'm just kind of coasting through them a lot. So that was that. And now we get into the kind of more technical portion of Mulholland, which is still really fun. There's some really fun, like, kind of like sweepy sections here, which I really like. The gravel on the side of the road gets really bad, and that ultimately, assuming you put a good pair of, you know, assuming you put a good pair of tires on your bike, which I recommend you just, if you're going to spend money on one thing, don't get a new exhaust, don't get, you know, fancy, you know, air filters. You know, I'd even say go ahead and get the what's it called? The Shell Rotilla gas for your engine. Save money there, but just spend money on your tires. I have these Pilot Road 4s, and they have transformed this bike from the Pirelli Scorpions that came on this bike. It's like a different bike. It's like I have a new motorcycle. So I highly recommend you spend money on them. And if you can afford the Pilot Road 3s or 4s on your bike, just get them, because it's one less thing you have to worry about. It heavily decreases the chances, not just these tires, but any good tires, heavily decreases the chances that you're going to low side, gives you a better chance of surviving a run-in with gravel like that. And when you're on the canyons, you just need it. I mean, you can't come out here with shitty or bald or my Pirelli Scorpions. Well, obviously those would be better if I ever decided to go on like a tightly packed dirt road. They're just not good for this. Like I can't confidently carve like I can on these roads. Look at this gravel though, man. It's bad. And so essentially you're obviously, yes, okay, there are hazards on the road. There's gravel, there's cars they're going to pull out. But if you're not confident on your bike, then the chances of you crashing are more likely. If you're nervous and driving nervously, that's going to translate directly into your riding. And if you don't have a good pair of tires, or you kind of feel like your back wheel slips out a lot, then it's going to affect your riding, and in turn, something bad's going to happen. So yeah, my one piece of advice is if you're going to come out on the canyons, definitely get your going too fast here. Definitely get yourself a pair of good tires, because it makes all the difference in the world. Either get a good pair of tires or go behind a fucking massive RV like this that goes 20 miles an hour, and that'll be good too, because then nothing will happen to you. Here we are. It's the Rock. What is it called? Rock Store. Very famous. That was nice of him. I mean, he didn't really pull over. I don't know if he's parking or what, but nice of him to get out of my way. So you go through these residential areas. My other thing to say would be, like, if you're going through residential areas like this, go the speed limit, because it's just, besides the fact that I've never seen a kid actually playing on any of these roads, but there's homes here, there's probably kids around. It's just like people can be pulling out of their driveways, tons of really bad shit can happen, and it's just not worth, risking it. I mean, there's cars like pulling out slowly in the middle of the road, and if you're not expecting it and you're not like, then that's it. You're gonna have a fucked up day. So I highly, recommend, like now, right? I'm not in residential anymore. I can go a little bit quicker. I should have been in second gear. There we go. Much better. And make sure you're in the right gear on these things. Like, this gets really kind of hairy here. It's fun, but it gets a little hairy. So just make sure you're in a lower gear, so that you have all that power control, even if you slow down in the middle of the turn, or if the turn, gets super sharp all of a sudden. But this part is really fun. I came out here with my buddy Andrew the other day, and he was on his Ninja. He just loves this shit. He loves these like quick little, back and forth kind of turns that happen here. It's a lot of fun. Coming up on the Snake, which I take super slowly. It's funny, as many times as I've ridden on the Snake, it's like, just its reputation is like, I always go really slowly. It's like I'm expecting like the ground to break out from under me. It's actually not as treacherous as you think it was. It's actually a pretty nice turn. It's just that, people are cranking on it, their first or second time on it, and you'll see the smart guys up here on Super Sports and stuff. They will, they'll do it over and over again. And then they can slowly increase their speed. And that goes back to what I'm saying. Like when you're out here on the canyons, the first time, the first few times you go on it, you want to go like extra slow. And for two reasons. You want to see what the turns are like and try to remember which turns are, treacherous. And you want to do that both ways, right? Because some turns, like I just went through a rock overhang, that turn's okay coming this way, but on the way back when you're on the inside of the turn, I pretty much don't have any acceleration on then, because it's so tight. So you want to go both ways. You want to see where the gravel is beforehand, spot the gravel so you know, okay, even if you could do this turn at a faster speed, you shouldn't because there's gravel there and you'll slide out. And so you want to look at those things when you come out, riding for your first time. And even your second time, right? Like even for the day, you really want to, here's a snake. Whoa. Scraped the pegs and freaked out. See, so there you go. That was me being overconfident on the snake. And I didn't almost fall, but I scraped my pegs and it freaked me out. So don't do that. Because if you wipe out here, you look like a dumbass. And that's it. So that's it for this one. Some tips there. Always spot your shit every time, but before you do anything, just get used to the turns and learn what turns might be hazardous, and just keep an eye out for all that gravel on the ground every time you go before you try to really crank it. And don't freak out like me every time you scrape your pegs, because you're going to do it. That's it. All right, later, guys.